All right, hello. Boy, what to say here about this? We're still talking about Charlie Kirk, and we're going to look at some connections. Well, just one connection basically with the film The Dead Zone. I haven't had really time to sit and do any kind of digging. Actually, there's more than one connection, but I haven't really had time to do any real digging on this. But you know, when we look at, let's go to this one here. When we look at Charlie Kirk's birthday, okay, through to his assassination day, right? The numbers that come up is 31 years, 331 days. And anytime I see 331, I always think of Christopher Walken. Okay. Now immediately, um, here's Christopher Walken's birthday. Okay. Again, what would I say is we did have a little reference to 43 in the last few videos as well. But 331, Christopher Walken's birthday. Now, what is fascinating, it's just the amount of stuff that Christopher Walken's done. It's just absolutely chock full of films, okay? And this is one of the ones that stands out to me, Pulp Fiction, okay? And another reason why it stands out a lot to me with this whole thing that's going on right now with Charlie Kirk is because the release date for this film is October the 14th, 94. This is released on Charlie Kirk's first birthday. Okay, so this is super duper interesting. Anyway, we're really not going to talk about Pulp Fiction in this. It's just the fact that Christopher Walken was in it, and you know, it's immediately where my mind starts going with these connections. Okay, so we want to go back to this other film with Christopher Walken, which is The Dead Zone. Okay, I just watched this not that long ago. I rewatched it, should I say? It's actually a pretty darn good film. Notice that the female counterpart in this film, Brooke Adams. Um, Notice her birthday, February the 8th, 49, matches up. Oh, I had her in here. Again, when we're going to Back to the Future 3, because all this stuff we've been seeing lately to do with Back to the Future 3, I think, well, all three Back to the Futures, but again, the interest with Back to the Future 3 is that she is the female interest in that film, okay? February the 8th, again, 53. She's just 4 years younger than Brooke Adams. And notice Brooke Adams, yeah, the Adam, the Brook, the water references here, the dam reference. So anyway, there's 2-8, super duper interesting anyway. And of course that is to do with, obviously, with the Hoover Dam, yada yada yada. Anyway, in this film, spoiler alert, Christopher Walken can see the future. He can get into this dead zone, or I don't know, you know, something like that, where he can actually change the future with his actions. He can see it and then change it, okay? And anyway, there's an assassination attempt, and Martin Sheen with the son Charlie. What's name was talking about Charlie Sheen actually, decoding with Cody. They were talking about Charlie. I don't know what it was. Something to do with a baseball thing or something. I don't know. Anyway, Martin Sheen's in this as the attempted person that Christopher Walken is going to attempt to assassinate. Okay, so this is interesting with this connection back to the assassination attempt. Okay, also I can't remember exactly what is in 88 Finis Temporis's video on The Dead Zone, but you might want to watch that. I think it's a pretty interesting one. It's probably the reason why I even looked at The Dead Zone ages ago. So go find that. But what I wanted to show you was this the release date of the film. Note the release date of the film. Notice that it's released on the day that Doc and Marty go back to, go into the future. Okay, 2015, October the 21st, 2015 is when they go into the future. Note that that's kind of all tying in with all this Madonna stuff for the 22nd of October coming up. Okay. But I did a number jump with this. Now, I thought I had it in here somewhere. Where is it? Nope. Oh, this is, well, we'll go to this in just a second. I can't remember where I had it. Oh, here it is. So this was, no, this is the release of the film, the 21st of October 1983, through to his assassination. Now look at the number that comes up, 153. I just could not Adam and Eve it, you know. This is what we're talking about with the white wedding, with the idea of being reborn. This 153, the 153 fish, the 153 sacred geometry of the Vesica Pisces. Okay, the 153 is the gateway into the dead zone, so to speak, or out of the dead zone. Okay, this is 150. This is just mental. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's just absolutely crazy. If we click it, what was this? Was there something interesting about it? Oh yeah, 51st star. Again, 5-1 Mayday. And again, this is kind of interesting. Just this with, look how this sort of ties back in on itself with the composite number here. 13513. So yeah, kind of an interesting one, that. But definitely for the fact that the 153 is the Vesica Pisces, it is the gateway. You know, when the two bodies come together, the sun and the moon, and they initially touch and then they kiss, okay, like the white wedding, and then what is opened from the kiss is the Vesica Pisces, okay, that gateway into the metaphysical, okay. Right. Now, let me show you something else with this. I thought this was interesting as well. This is Christopher Walken's birthday through to the shooting. Again, we're back with pi. Okay, back with pi again. 3, 1, 4 numbers. Okay, 3, 1, 4 numbers. So why is that interesting with the pi? Well, I showed you before with the Dunkirk thing. Okay, Kirk being done, the evacuation, the exodus. Okay, note that the number jump from the end, well, from the last day of Dunkirk there, the evacuation, through to his shooting, 31144. Okay, pi again, and remember that was tying in with our 86-year one-day jump from the end of the beginning of World War II to the 1st of September was the 9-1 numerology we were looking at. So this is kind of, you know, again, with this, the numerology of his death is very interesting with what we've been looking at with the 9-1 stuff. I believe Decoding from Cody was talking about this film, Dunkirk. I can't remember why I had it up now. Oh, I wanted to just show you just something interesting about this. I don't have the number jump in here, but I believe from, I want to say from Dunkirk to, well, we can just do it right now. Let's just do this right now. His founding of his Turning Point organization, notice it was the 5th of June, and this is the 4th of June. Super duper interesting. Let's go back to 2012 when he founded it. Okay, what you can see now is it's 72 years one day. Okay, 72 years one day, which is again interesting with this Dunkirk film, notice that they've got the 217 numerology here, and notice then also probably Evie's pointed this out, the 13th of July, Donald Trump's date, wrong year but right day of the year. And I mean, we could go through, it's probably like, this is probably loaded. I just don't have time to go through it right now, okay? But look at the people they've got in it. It's just absolutely chock loaded full of stars. Anyway, so anyway, let's what do I want to show? Okay, I got a clip up here. I just thought this might be worth referencing because I can't remember in the film if they ever show the outside. This is where the assassination attempt is going to take place, and I can't remember if they ever show the outside of this building, but it would be interesting to see it. I could probably dig and find it. I think they've taken the film, I believe, was free to watch. It wasn't that long ago that I watched it, but now it's off of free, so I don't know. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it would be interesting to see if this were like 4 pillars on the outside of this building and the sort of the temple style sort of Greco-Roman type architecture. I'm not sure, but do pay attention to the stage here and this idea of the metaphysical gateway in here, okay, right here, and do pay attention to the fact that this is, you know, like the top of the clock tower here. So this again is quite interesting, especially with 2-5 numerology for that doorway. You know, the release of Back to the Future 3, the 25th of, was it the 25th? The 25th of May, I think, yeah. I want to jump actually back to some of the stuff with Back to the Future very quickly. There's some other stuff in the Dead Zone that, you know, I could tie into all this as well, but we're not doing that right now. I wanted to show you. So we've got, again, let's just drop back. So we had the gal in the Dead Zone matching up with this character, okay? And let me show you something here that connect all back into this scene. So this is the shooting scene with Doc, yeah? And Marty's going to save him. Let's just play a second of it. Right, with the pie dish. It even says pie on it as well. It says frisbee and pie on it, okay? So this pie, he's going to save him with the pie. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Note that, you know, this is all in celebration of what? The clock starting on, I could get a picture of it here somewhere. Obviously I can't find a picture of it. But this is all to do with the clock starting on the clock tower. Hang on a minute. I've got another clip of it up here. This thing, beginning, okay? The clock starting, okay? Remember we were talking about Charlie Kirk representing this, yeah? This is the Temple of Diana again. This is the clock that has Charlie Kirk's numerology on it for his birthday. It has the, at least when the clock stops, and then it has this connection, this Princess Diana connection with the, you know, the Temple of Athena, the Temple of Diana, and the connection back with Charles and Diana and the White Wedding, and all this tying together with this symbolism. Okay. Anyway, so this is the beginning of this thing, you know, this reference, and then we have, of course, Doc and Marty take the picture, 8-8, with the clocks already started at 8 o'clock, but they take the picture 8-8. This actually changes during the picture to 8-9, but 8-8 from 8-8 this year to the 10th of September is 33 days. Okay, I've got that number jumping there somewhere, but it's 33 days on to his shooting. Okay. What was I going with this? I can't remember now. But anyway, the 2-8 stuff with her. with the end of the line and the Super Bowl this year. Cody's talked about that. I can't really remember what I was planning on doing here now. This is the problem. I'm all over the place right now with references. But anyway, as we've seen here, you know, the pie dish saves Doc, okay? The pie dish saves Doc, okay? Christopher Walken connection. The Christopher Walken through to that day, the pie dish, the 314, the pie dish. Notice the 82 here, the 28 with the birthdays, especially with the 163 what we've been talking about. Yeah, that's a super interesting number as well. Oh dear, I don't know what else to say. Was there something else in here? I've got some stuff. Yeah, let's just note also. Let's just make this a longer video, and let's just talk about a couple other things. I thought I had it in here somewhere. Turning point. Okay, yeah. Utah. Let's look at this just for a second, right? With the tie-in with Back to the Future again. Notice that this is Utah Valley University where Charlie Kirk gets shot. Notice the coordinates as well on this one. 40 degrees, and we got 111 degrees as well. We got the 4-1 numerology showing up like with the clock tower, like with Charlie Kirk's birthday in the coordinates for this thing. Yeah, 1941 established. Okay, we got the 9-1 and the 4-1. I couldn't get an exact date, so I didn't do any number jump for that. But again, Utah, what does Utah mean? Well, AI says it means probably people of the mountains. I did wonder, before I even went and checked, I wonder if Utah's got some connection to the hill. And of course it does, you know, the mountain is the big hill. Okay, so the Hill Valley reference now, yeah, with the mountains, the people of the mountains, and then the valley. The Hill Valley reference here now is just, you know, we got the mountains in the background here. Okay, so thought that was probably worth a mention as well. Super duper interesting with those coordinates. Again, the turning point stuff, if you look at his turning point coordinates, 33, 111 as well. Okay, so just fascinating stuff. What was the other thing I was going to show you in here? The release date of Back to the Future 2. Note as well, another ominous day to do with shootings. Okay, and again we had the Dallas Cowboys, obviously relating back to, again, this idea of Dallas and the big shooting here on the 22nd of November. But notice that this release date ties us back in. And note that in the film, there's a reference to JFK when Marty is sat with the grandparents in part 1. And there's also this reference to Meatloaf in that scene, if you can remember. I hope you like Meatloaf, Marty. Sit here, Marty. Okay. I just thought it'd be interesting just to check out some stuff with Meatloaf. Here's some interesting stuff with the 1-2 numerology here with Meatloaf's death. Okay, obviously the reason why I'm looking at 1-2 numerology because of the release date of the 11/22 and also you know, JFK 1122. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to look at this particular date through to the shooting. 1329, nothing interesting on the surface until you go to the composite number, and then it becomes really interesting. 1111 composite. Yeah, the 1111th composite number, 1329. So that becomes super duper interesting because of this connection back to the blooming clock tower. You know what I mean? Again, ultimately, I've got a picture of the clock tower in here. Where the hell's right? Do. I need some like elevator music in between when I'm doing this kind of stuff. I can just click on real quick. I thought I had a picture of it. Maybe it's right here. Hang on. Yeah. So the clock tower. Remember this stuff. You know the symbolism. Again, 11, 11. Okay, and again with the 2-2, because of course at the Hoover Dam you've got 2 inlet towers on each side of the dam like this. Okay, and we're talking about this Vesica Pisces, this gateway right here being opened. Okay, and you know of course the flood ensuing, but you know 1111. This is you know, and I mean I don't know what else to say other than it is the clock tower, it is the Hoover Dam, it is the day that we're actually looking at is 10/11, yeah, the 10th of November, probably writing that around the wrong way, yeah, but the 10th of November going into the 11th of November, and don't forget the 10th of November is the 314th day of the year, going into the 315th day of the year, which again is Vesica Pisces numbers, okay. I don't know what else to say about it. You know, this is the Hoover Dam. This is again, you know, turn the blooming boat upside down, the Titanic, yeah? Flipped up the wrong way, sunk the wrong way around, yeah? This is you got the all-seeing eye up here, you know, this is, again, the resurrection of Osiris from the 4 corners, spread on the 4 corners of the earth. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm going to leave it there because it's getting a bit whiffly waffly this, and I'm a bit all over the place. But I'm just saying, you know, note the connections back to the Future from 8/8 this year. It's 88 days on from Donald Trump's birthday. From 8/8, it's 33 days to this shooting. We've been looking at 9/1 numerology. We've been looking up to this date. Well, not this date, but the 1st of September for I don't know how long. For something really big, and I think this is the fulfillment of that, you know, something big on 9/1. That's my personal opinion about what's happened with this. Yeah, 100 dead zone. Okay, 153. Oh dear, I think I've done everything. Meatloaf. What was this one? Oh, this was the. People have probably covered this, but this was JFK's assassination through to Charlie Kirk's birthday. Look at we've got the numbers in here, double 19 in here again, and the 109. Oh dear, oh dear. Trying to think if there was someone else. What was this one? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I necessarily want to do this. It was just a fact that was another pie showing up. This is the release of Snatch, Guy Ritchie's film, okay, that's tying us in with Madonna for the 22nd of October, real good as well. Obviously, the 23rd of October, Kobe's birthday. But this is the release of the film in 2000. And there was something with that. I've got those numbers. Let's just backtrack through a couple of these numbers. But again, look at the 2505 through to his birthday. Again, Back to the Future 3 released on 2505. This was that date through to the shooting. Again, 915 numerology. We were looking at the beginning of the United States through to the 1st of September this year was 91,005 days. Look how this ties in real nice with that. This was the Hoover Dam through to Rocco Ritchie's birthday this year, his 25th birthday. And note the palindromic number that shows up here with that same 823 stuff. 823 32823. Okay, so this was super duper important as well. Don't know if I showed. I think we covered that. I think we had that in a video before. I can't remember. And I can't remember why this one's up here. Not really sure about why that's there. What I was thinking there. This is one that I don't know if I did I show this? I'm not sure, but I thought I better re-mention it if I didn't. This is the White Wedding. This is Charles and Diana's White Wedding, 29th of July 1981 through to, hopefully I'm getting these dates right, through to the shooting, 44 years, 44 days. Okay, 44, 44. Okay, and actually you can unclick that end date there and see about the 43 showing up. Donald Trump numbers again here with 614 stuff. So again, interesting stuff. I think I've done everything. Again, let me just mention this because this is the release. This is the start of. This is, what is this actually? Why have I got 2024 in there? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, so okay, yeah, going into this year. Okay, so this should be from the eclipse day of 10/14/23. Again, that numerology again with his birthday. 10/14, the eclipse day. Madonna's celebration tour was 444 days through to this date here. Okay, and then so starting on this day, coming through to the shooting, because of all this 444 stuff, being like a balance point. Okay, and let me show you why that's. I'll go to that chart in just a second and show you why 444 with pi, a lot of pi references as well, is really interesting. But look, 254, yeah, just the same as 9/11 is on the 254th day of the year. Obviously, click on, you're going to get 9/11 being the same deal here. Not that impressive, of course. But if we do go to 9/11, what was I thinking here? With the end date included, see this 255 showing up? Follow on day. I don't know, kind of interesting with the Back to the Future stuff again. I think that's what I was thinking there. Not that great, Dan. What else have I got here? Okay, oh, this is a whole run of stuff. I might as well just chuck it in here because I don't want to do another video on it. There was the 8/8 through to that day, 33 days. Okay, and this is why I've got this in here with the 326 with the key bridge stuff. 7/3/85. This is Back to the Future 1 release through to his birthday, 3026. You remember the key bridge on the 26th of March? Okay, 326 is a number that I've talked about with Madonna, obviously in this in reverse. 623, the release of Who's That Girl with Madonna. That's important because of the Hoover Dam. Okay, who is that girl? Okay, the 326 here. We've done a lot of stuff with the synchronicities with that number, but just because that popped up, I thought I'd better look from the key bridge just through to the shooting just to see what it is. And of course, lo and behold, we got the 5/3 stuff coming up again. Okay, and look at this, 1 year, 168 days, again with Madonna's birthday. But I tell you what is interesting. Look, this 53 stuff, just very quickly. Let's just open up the chart of Lorraine. Okay, come on, computer. Okay, notice that Charlie Kirk's, numbers, the 31 years, 331 days showing up here. Was it 130? I can't remember. 331 days, yeah, and 31 years showing up here. So look going opposite this, you would expect to see some 53/23 stuff. Yeah, you definitely expect to see some of that. Don't forget, this is the clock tower here when we do our clock tower. Okay, you'd expect to see a lot of 255 stuff, you know, Back to the Future 3 with the gate, the doorway. This is the metaphysical doorway that you smash through in Back to the Future 2. The metaphysical doorway. Why is, you know, 2 and 5 is so important with the metaphysical sort of doorway is because I do triangular numbers at the top of here. This triangular number would be 15 here, and this triangular number would be 21. Notice why I've written them like that, because they're mirror reflections of one another, just as the metaphysical is a mirror reflection of the physical, so to speak. But this is, you know, again, you know, you go down that line, the line again. Here's our 314. Yeah. If we go to this other chart, I'll show you why 44 is super duper interesting to do with balance and pi. We want this one. Okay. Here's our 44 in the center of this table right here. Yeah. This row here is actually pi numbers. Okay. Technically speaking, this is the start of it right here going on. Right? 314. Pi numbers with 44. Okay, this is what we're seeing a lot of right now, is a lot of bits and pieces of pi popping up and a lot of 4-4 stuff popping up. It's the center of this thing. You know, you're going to see a lot of 9-4 stuff, a lot of 4-8 stuff as well. Okay? And then, yeah, and again, what we was just talking about as well, that other number jump with the 915 stuff is the, you know, is the opposite of this stuff here. It's the mirror of this stuff. So you're going to see references to you know, 519 stuff, 915, whatever way around that is. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it quits on this one because that's gone all over the place now. But yeah, this 53 stuff, super important. Again with the clock tower. I think I've done everything now. I don't know why I had the 28. I don't know why that's in there like that. Maybe I was just going in between some numbers or something. I don't know what the hell, that's nothing to do with anything. Good old Christopher Walken is always showing up in stuff. Always, 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 always. He's just in the background in a lot of stuff. You know, obviously 2 years ago, this was Easter was March the 31st. So this is, you know, again, where we're at is kind of interesting. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. So what else to say? The whole election thing and this political assassination attempt, and you know, I'll say thanks for watching the Dead Zone. All right, bye.